Hey guys, Plexicraft here. I know I should be working on my own game right now, but I'm a little too hyped for Persona 3 Reload, so I've been playing it a ton. I've now started working on finding out how to beat Elizabeth without Orpheus Telos. So I put together a guide on how to do that the kind of regular way, all of her rules and the gear and personas you can use. I'll link that guide in the description. I also got some feedback from someone who said, hey, you can actually skip a phase if you do X, Y, and Z. So here is my version of that skip. Credit to Muhd Fitri, who first showed me how to do the skip. I will link their version of that in the description as well. But the main idea with Elizabeth is she's going to use planned attack patterns, planned personas. She has 8 different personas that will come out in a specific order. What you're seeing me do here is I start with Thanatos, who has all my auto buffs on him. I switch to Hellel, who has a resist ice, so he's good to go through turns 1 through 4. And then on turns 5 and 6, I switch to a Chiyu, who will allow me to kind of buff and tank. And then on 7 and 8, turns 7 and 8, I can use Hellel to come back in and buff Chiyu to probably tank turn 8's soft Megidolone. The entire idea of this fight is we need to get Elizabeth down past, we need to do over 10k damage to Elizabeth, and then we need to use Armageddon on her. You saw that I came in with a banked Theurgy, and I also brought in Fuka with a banked Theurgy. I actually don't end up using Fuka's Theurgy here in this fight, but it's there. If you cannot if you cannot bridge the gap to some of the breakpoints. The first thing that we should know is that we need to be able to withstand 2 9,999 Megidolones from Pixie. We want to tank the first one with a persona that has Enduring Soul, and we want to tank the second one with a persona that has Endure. So if we have Enduring Soul, that will bring us back to full health, and that's all nice and dandy. Endure will give us 1 HP, and at that point in time, we will have a Theurgy banked to use Armageddon on her, because that last Megidolone should be when she is, when we've done something kind of creative. It's a little bit complex to talk through the rules out of order, so let me just talk through the rules in order, or her phases in order. The first phase, she will be using personas in turns 1 through 8. In phase 2, she will use Thor to kind of punch you to death, an amped up Thor that will use God Hand on you. So in phase 1, we want to get her to 7k damage. Once she's gotten 7k damage on her, she'll switch to stage 2 after buffing for a turn, and then the next turn casting the first Pixie Megidolone on you, which you want to tank with the Enduring Soul. So here on turn 8s like this, we just want to have Chiyu out because he has firm stance. And then I'm back to Hellel. You can do this with any personas that aren't going to be breaking the rules. We only want to break the rules once in this fight, and that's how we do the skip. So basically what we've been doing is we've been heat risering, we've been debilitating, and I use Hellel to concentrate and make sure that he has a concentrate banked before turns 5 and 6. So that way I can spend turns 7 and 8 getting my Debilitate up, my Heat Riser up, and then on turn 1 I can use a Trickster Theurgy and start bringing her down to 7k damage. Once she's at 13k health of her 20k total, that means we've done 7k damage. she will do that first Migidolone. And we want to be really careful here, because the entire idea is we want to get her to 10k, we want to get her past 10k damage. So she'll have lower than 10k health. The first time she gets to 10k health, what she will do is she will typically Dia Rahan and bring her health all the way back to 20k. But the skip is intended to break a rule in a specific time, so instead of Dia Rahaning, she will say, oh, you've broken a rule, I'm going to 99 Migidolone you. So instead of healing, she will do that. So the way we go about this is we want to reflect the strike that Thor is going to do in phase 2 back onto her, and we need that amount to bridge the gap all the way to 10k. So on normal difficulty, which is where I'm fighting Elizabeth here, that attack might do 500 to 800 damage. So what I need to do is I need to make sure that I get close to 7k damage, and then I need to bridge all the way to get close to 10k damage without doing 10k damage. So that way she'll do her first Migidolone. I will then tank it with an Enduring Soul persona, and I won't push her all the way to her 10k breakpoint. She needs to push herself to that breakpoint, or she'll heal to full. So what you're seeing here is I'm blocking the Die For Me from Alice. You can use Homunculi for this, but you can block the Die For Me from Alice, the Dark Insta-Kill, by wearing the Boots of Bane, or Shoes of Bane, I think it's called. You don't need them, but it's nice to have. You especially don't need them if you're doing the skip, because you're not going to get died for me too many times. The main idea, though, is you want to be banking that concentrate, and then buffing and debuffing on turns 7 and 8, so you have turn 1 and 2 to do your nukes onto her. If we've added up the damage that I've done so far, we're probably around like 5,200, something like that. I know my Scatty, she is kind of a beast. She's going to do around 3,600 to 4k damage. So I need to wait for turn 2 when she's on cert to bring her out. And for whatever reason, if I wasn't able to break that 7k damage gap with Scatty, she would switch to Jack Frost, Buffa Dine Me, or Diamond Dust Me, and that would break one of the rules. But since I know this damage, there you go, that 4k damage is going to bridge the 7k gap, but be below the 10k gap, I'm in a good spot. If you accidentally push past that 10k, you'll skip phase 2 rather than skipping phase 3. All is not lost. If you skip phase 2, you have a much more complex phase 3 to deal with, but today I'm showing how to skip phase 3. So we've done just enough damage to be right underneath that 10k damage threshold. So what we want to do at this point in time is we want to tank the first Migidolone that is coming with an Enduring Soul. So I put out Messiah here to do that. I don't really want to do any more damage to her because I don't want to go past 10k. I need her to reflect that 10k, or that last piece that gets us to 10k onto her herself. So I'm just gonna heal. It's not gonna do anything because she's gonna Migidolone me. I'm gonna Enduring Soul and bring all of that HP back. That's the plan. And then the last move here is kind of important. It's it's important to know the tiny detail of what kind of debuff you want to do on her. At this point in time, she may not have the correct types of debuffs on her, but you do want to get out your Reflect persona, Reflect Strike persona, that also has Endure on it. And now, items are probably the best way to do this. You don't want to Debilitating Suture her, you want her attack to be high, because that Reflect is going to be your damage, right? You want to do the Atrophying Sutra, or just a defense down on her. So she will always use an amped up or charged up God Hand here. And since you've broken the rules, she will not Diarahan here. She will say, oh, you've broken the rules. Here, there's the rule break Megiddo. But what this does is it switches it back to your turn. And if you have a Theurgy banked, which is kind of hard to do, if you want to bridge that gap, you can now use Armageddon, and it'll take away the rest of her health because you've gotten her below that 10k. So yeah, when I first saw Muhd Fitri do this, I was like so impressed. It's so satisfying to skip a kind of crazy phase of the fight. But yeah, I'm so pumped that they kind of reworked this fight. They gave us a new challenge to do, some new fusions to make. I would honestly love to see someone attempt and do this with just Chi-Yu. I have faith that it's possible that you could do this fight with a Chi-Yu only. I don't think it's something I'll probably be attempting anytime soon. I do need to get back to working on my own game, but I did want to put together some information of how to approach this fight. Because a lot of the information that I saw online was kind of incomplete. Even some of the better guides that helped me put some of the information together. That's why I made my own version in Reddit. Yeah, it's been such a cool experience to do this. I'll show you that I'm doing this on normal mode. It makes it a little bit easier to do the damage yourself and tank some of the damage, but if you're on Merciless, that God Hand is going to hit for like 1,000 damage. So that's something to be aware of, because she's going to do more damage. Those are the personas. You can like scrub through or pause as you need. But yeah, you could probably do this with fewer personas than I use. But I had Messiah there just so I could toss a Megiddo on there if I'm not bridging the gap close enough from phase 2 to phase 3. I used Lucifer Blade and Armor of Light because they're such strong pieces of equipment for this fight. Amaretite Necklace is great for not having to worry about the status effects, and the Shoes of Bane, I don't think you need them if you have enough homunculi.
Here are my requests.
But I like them. And yeah, that's it. I just gotta fuse some more personas and I'm good to go. But yeah, that's it from me. I hope this helps you guys. There's the Omnipotent Orb. Have fun, everybody.